approach, you are going to learn to develop a consistent approach whereby you can recognize patterns over time. So just like I've set out a 30-day challenge for every one of you taking the course, I've also set out objective outcomes for me, the mentor, to achieve within each one of the units. These 6 objective outcomes include the following. Firstly, I really want you to understand the principles within each unit that ultimately drives market price. If you can fully understand and grasp these principles, you'll not only be able to execute the trade strategies within units 6 to 15, but you'll also be able to develop and adopt your own unique footprint trade strategies. The second outcome I'd really like to achieve within each one of the units is to teach you to learn to listen to the market. Rather than take a biased or opinionated subjective approach to the markets, I want you to learn to become very objective, drawing upon the fact-based information that is within the market, and ultimately learn to listen to what the market's saying. The third outcome I'd like to achieve is for you to be able to practically apply each one of the trade strategies. The fourth outcome is I want you to be able to develop your own unique trading template. Obviously, throughout units 6 to 15, you will adopt a template I've created for you. But over the long run, I want you to adopt your own template that's personal to your trade strategies. The fifth objective I really want you to focus on and really adopt is minimizing risk first and maximizing gains after. The reason is simple. Every single successful trader I know or have come across all focus on managing risk and becoming the perfect risk manager. The last outcome I really want you to achieve, and I really want you to understand, is that you only need one trade strategy. You only need to be a master of one trade strategy to be not just extremely successful, but also extremely prosperous and wealthy. So remember, guys, skills are developed through time and experiences. Experience is the ultimate teacher. I can teach you all the principles, all the strategies in the world, but at the end of the day, you are going to have to take your understanding and experience things for yourself and develop your own unique trade strategies. Over the next couple of slides, I'm going to briefly introduce the Footprint tool. We'll also look at the Blackboard learning feature, where I show you how the tool effectively works, as well as introduce a live market example so you can see the Footprint tool in action. Now let's take a look at the brief history of the Footprint tool. So originally, back in the day, traditional puts, you used to have a squawk simply quoting the volume traded at each price. Now, traditionally, if you were to chart what was going on, you would simply just see the high, the low, the open and the closing prices on any given day. So since 2003, the Footprint tool became publicly available. However, in my experience, the Footprint tool by and large has only started to be fully utilized by professional traders since early 2012-2013. In terms of obviously what the Footprint tool tells us, it effectively captures all the actual activity at each price. So in essence, it's telling a story in much greater detail at each price. Sometimes I like to summarize it as the footprint is nothing other than the physical interaction taking place between buyers and sellers over a number of prices. Now, in terms of my personal experience, I've been utilizing the Footprint since pretty much 2012-2013, which gives me roughly 5 years of personal experience utilizing the Footprint tool. Now, the reason that we've kind of created this course is very simply, if you were to go and type into Google or YouTube anything about Footprint or how to utilize the tool, what does the tool actually effectively do, it's very difficult to find any kind of meaningful information and education on the Footprint tool. And that's why we've created the Footprint course. So what we're going to do throughout this course is we're going to teach you how to effectively utilize the tool, also how to develop a contextual understanding, and lastly, be able to not just execute the trade strategies we teach you, but also ultimately develop your own unique trade strategies. Now in the next slide, we're going to take a look at why you should consider utilizing the Footprint tool. We're going to spend the next slide talking about some of the most important reasons why you could consider adopting the Footprint tool. To start off with, what you can see depicted in the slide is a traditional candlestick, and to the right of it, a traditional Footprint-1 rotation. Now don't get too concerned about what effectively the footprint implies in terms of the numbers and the X's. We will get onto that a little bit later in this unit and obviously later on in the course. But for now, what I want you to understand is some of the basic reasons why we utilize the tool. So first and foremost, the footprint displays time, volume, price, and order flow in one single graphic. So within this single rotation you can see in the slide, we can obviously see time, volume, price, and order flow. Now if we're to compare that just to a basic candlestick, the candlestick will offer obviously time as well. It will also offer volume, but only total volume. So it won't offer volume at each price, just simply total volume. It'll obviously also offer price, the candlestick, and it won't offer order flow either. It'll simply show you the net result of buying and selling interaction. So we can already clearly see that the footprint adds two unique elements in order flow and volume at each price over the traditional candlestick. The footprint then offers a deeper principle-based understanding, and what we mean by that is, you not only look at where the market opened and closed and make big principle decisions on that, but you can look at what is occurring at each individual price and understand the logic behind why price is doing what it's doing. The footprint leaves an informational trail. So what we mean by that is we can very often pick up where buyers and sellers are positioning themselves, where their stops might be, whether or not those sellers and buyers are aggressive or passive. This informational trail can be extremely valuable information when obviously charting the markets. The next reason why we utilize this tool is that we can actually develop a unique edge. Why? Because we're moving away from the traditional high and low, open and close only features of a traditional candlestick. With a footprint tool, we can identify the interaction and intentions between buying and selling participants as it gets imprinted within a footprint. Note, with a footprint tool, we can also see the aggressive and passive interaction, initiative and responsive price action, the positioning, as well as relative changes occurring at each price. The footprint is a wonderfully strong visual graphic that summarizes a lot of information in a very simple graphic. And humans tend to recognize and remember colors a lot easier than numbers. So by depicting it in colors, we can see very clearly the information a lot easier and make decisions a lot quicker. Obviously, with the footprint being a new tool relative to the candlestick, there is a longevity of edges that you develop with the footprint tool. So each strategy you develop with the footprint, you're going to be using leading information rather than the traditional lagging information. Also, the footprint will allow you exact manageable risk with each strategy. Also, you can define very specific unique strategies with the footprint tool. And lastly, one of the most important reasons why you want to consider utilizing the tool is that it can be utilized across all markets and all time frames, making this a highly effective trading tool to consider. Let's now go and have a little bit more of a detailed look as to what the breakdown of the footprint tool looks like. So now that you've got an understanding as to why exactly professional traders choose to use the footprint tool, let's go and look a little bit deeper inside the tool so you can see the various elements of information that come out in one simple graphic. So let's start with obviously price. Now what you can see in front of you is a number of footprint rotations. So all in all, within the graphic in front, you've got 6 different rotations. Now note, these rotations can obviously be, they can be based on time, or they can be based on a certain number of ticks within a rotation. Again, as we go through the tool in Unit 2, you'll understand a little bit more